Hello, friends from the comic book and manga world. My name is Ji,
And I'm Hector.
and we're here to talk about the October 13th, 2025 FOC. Hector and I, we work for Penguin Random House. So the titles that you'll see today are those that we can sell around the world, and it's with publishers that we represent. Aside from this YouTube channel, we're also on Facebook, Instagram, and on X at Peerage International Comics, where we'll post some news and updates on those channels. And we'll go ahead and get started with our picks for this week. And first in mind, this cover pick, this Nemesis Forever issue number 3. This is the Scalera cover, and I really like it because you have like a dangerous man telling stories out of this big looking book that looks like a textbook to all of these like adoring children around him. It's a really cool cover, all the destruction, definitely not a safe space for children here. But to remind you about this title, we have Nemesis, who is the most dangerous man in the world. And as dangerous men go, they're not just content with that title. Um, so he just wants to terrorize the forces of law and order and wreak havoc on his enemies, seize control of the world, enslave humanity, that kind of thing, using super technology. And so Nemesis has launched this like big plan with an elite team of henchmen, but he's unaware that one of them is a mole working for the FBI. And the mole, is she really prepared to do all the terrible things that he's asking of her, or will she go back on that and blow her cover? So this, again, issue number 3, really, I guess, adorable cover.
Yeah,
It's an
yeah,
interesting cover, to say the least.
yes.
So yeah.
Very cool. And we continue with my first pick for this video is Minor Threats, The Last Devil Left Alive, number 2. This cover B by Jay Gonzo. We talk about Jay Gonzo's covers on this channel all the time. And this time he is doing, the Day of the Dead treatment on this Minor Threats cover. I'm sorry, I don't know who this character is, but it looks extremely cool. And if you might have seen his other Day of the Dead covers over at IDW with the Ninja Turtles, and also recently he did Shredder for that, his series, the Shredder series. He did one of the covers with the same treatment. It looks so cool, and especially if you know about Mexican culture and you know about decorations and the Day of the Dead and everything that goes into it. You see a lot of small details, not just the skull and Katina's sort of face, but also with the serpents and the heart, the sacred heart with the wings and all that is so cool. I love that he puts not just beautiful colors and design on there, but also a lot of details that if you know about the culture, you identified it. So very cool. Of course, this is the Patton Oswalt, Jordan Bloom, and Scott Hepburn continuing series with this arc of Minor Threats. Very good.
So my next pick is Captain America. This is issue number 5. This is a cover done by Ben Harvey. I just like seeing this like skewed picture frame. Obviously, a lot has happened, but we don't know exactly what has happened. But there's blood dripping down the frame, but you have a very like picturesque handshakes between all these superheroes. So in this issue, we have like Steve, who learns the true nature of his mission into Latveria, and he finds himself at odds with his former ally Dave Colton, who's the current Captain America. So we just have like who would be the last captain standing, the scenario of two caps involved in this. So I just thought it was a very interesting cover, and it just I also like the shadows as well. I don't
Yeah,
know. It
yeah.
makes it more menacing.
But of course, that they couldn't fit everybody in, so Jack Man had to be like. It almost seems like he's photobombing the the
Yeah.
pick, but Wasp can be on Tony's shoulder, right? So it's awesome. Yeah, very
Really
cool.
cool cover.
And we continue with Starship Godzilla. This is a retelling sent at 1 in 25 by Louis Joyce. This is the movie homage cover, and we just got time of this number one. I have it. I had the other movie. I was able to grab the movie homage, which was just Star Wars. Obviously, this one is an homage to Neon Genesis Evangelion, and there's gonna be more. Every issue is gonna have a movie TV sort of homage. So I'm really excited about that. And of course, this is the sort of Godzilla, Starship Godzilla in space title. But also Louis Joyce, who did this one, has worked on Godzilla before, and if you know that name, it's because he did recently a series called Godzilla Skate or Die, and I believe he was the writer at that time, um, and also did some covers. So there you go, very very cool. Can't wait for second issue to come out, and definitely this art is so cool. And you need to like these are amazing because you put them right next to the poster and so close to what the original poster is. Very cool.
All right, my next pick is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. This is Casey Jones issue 2. This is Jared Cullum cover art that you see here. We have in this issue, or this series, I should say, Casey Jones, who is investigating rumors of a phony mutagen hitting the streets, seeking seeking whoever's going after the mutants on the streets. He's stopped by Raphael, who thinks that Casey's pushing himself too hard, not listening to his better instincts. Basically, before they can defeat their new enemy in this one, they have to battle each other out best friends. So we get to see the conflicts and that starting off here in this series. What's really cool about this cover is many things. It looks like it's the Macy's parade, Thanksgiving parade in
Yeah.
New York City, just because you see the big turkey uh, being dragged along on the streets. I also like how we have Raphael, who unfortunately is going through it in the comic, but who's also going through it in this cover because the pigeons are pooping on his head and drinking out
Yeah.
of his cup. They're taking some soda. And yeah, it's just not having a great time comparatively to the others. I
Sure.
love the perspective, the really cool for them. So
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. All right, and then we continue with White Boat number 3, cover C. This is a Patrick Hovarth art. Um, and this is a 5 copy variant. Of course, this is the last issue of this series by Scott Snyder and illustrated by Francesco Francavilla. Gotta say, I knew I wanted to pick one of the covers for this book, but I had a hard time because they're all really great. There's a couple of Francisco Francavilla covers, but also there's a Werther Del Dera, a Jeremy Bastian, and a Giuseppe Caroncelli. So check them all out. But this one definitely won because it's so original, so cool. Obviously, about kind of ties a little bit into the story of this mysterious island that this boat. the crew in this boat find themselves in, and there's a lot of mystery. I don't want to talk about it because there could be spoilers in there, but sort of uh, Island of Dr. Moreau meets Jurassic Park meets some other stuff. But let's talk about this art, sort of the mountain or the yeah the part of the land on the island. It's I guess becomes this woman, but it's also sort of like a zombie. I love that you can see the rotting flesh and mixing in with the zombies. And there's a cave somewhere behind her hair, shining, which is also very ominous. And there's a solitary sort of silhouette on the beach. This figure coming up. Obviously, cover the whole. It's the wrap around, so it gives even more. I don't know. They look even more amazing, and especially with the premium format, just a bigger size for these books too. So very very cool. Very cool story. If you haven't read it, I highly recommend you jump on it. It's very cool, and yeah, can't wait for this one to come out. And another logo that they did a really good job with. Now that we're talking about,
Logos.
about logos, this one also is very very cool.
You know what this cover reminds me of? It reminds me of Where the Wild Things Are
Oh,
with
I
the
thought you were gonna say
palm.
something else, but yeah,
No, no, with the palm trees, the yellow eyes, the
yeah,
color scheme.
yeah.
Is it just me? I don't know if it was
No,
like
no, no.
a.
Now that you mention it, I hadn't thought about it, but the colors of those books. I would say the completely different one. It reminds me of Moana because Moana has that
Oh,
one character that is it's sort of the nature and the sea, and it is the island that becomes a woman. So, but a creepy version of that.
yeah,
So
I'm like pulling out the cover image of Where the Wild Things Are. I'm like, side by side, they look like
yeah,
even
the
like
colors,
because it's a
right?
picture book, so it's a wider trim too. Like so,
Yeah,
I don't know. It just reminds me of it a lot. Uh,
very cool. All right.
all right, so next up we have the guy in the chair too. This is cover art done by Guillermo Sana, and this one uh is kind of a love story. So
Yeah,
fortunately, love has no space in a blood-soaked world full of assassins and spies. So we have this character named Abi, who is this he's a tactical analysis of a private military company. And it's not really a breeding ground for love, but love is all he can think about because against his employer's strict policies, he has fallen head over heels for Merlin. So you can think of Merlin as like the field operative who's like on the ground, and he is basically the guy in the chair that
yeah,
she like gets information from. So it's an interesting like work dynamic that they have. But anyways, we have Merlin who ends up showing up at his apartment one day and she's like bloody, beaten down. She's like asking for his help, and he's essentially yanked behind the safety of the computer screen. So he no longer becomes the guy in the chair. And now both of them are forced to sort of face their corporate overlords and told that threatens humanity that they're also dealing with. So interesting premise. It is literally, again, we're going back to logos. This is a
yeah,
appreciation for logos.
yeah.
A literal chair.
I know this one was really cool how they put the chair right in there too.
Oh
It's
yeah, it's
so
really,
cool.
really cool. Yeah, the way they did that. So yes, uh, very much
I
appreciate the
love
attention
that it's
there.
not just not just the wheels at the bottom, but also that little lever, the lever
Um,
to put to move the chair up and down. It's there,
mhm.
so it's also good. Yeah. All right. Next up, X-Men: Book of Revelation number 2. This is Netho Diaz cover. This is part of Age of Revelation, of course. Issue one hasn't come out yet, as at the time of this recording goes on sale October 22nd. But we're already FOC in number two. Um, Not a spoiler because it's already out there, but just in case, a little bit of a spoiler. There was a revelation variant for issue one that shows Kitty Pryde in kind of a ghost form, and it was really a description. Yes, Pryde turns into a ghost, and it's called the ghost. It's Ghost of Philadelphia, and this is the character, the ghostly character that we see here. That's Kitty Pryde as Ghost of Philadelphia. There's a lot that's going to be going on. A lot of characters, because of the Age of Revelation, are going to the other side, sort of becoming villains. Some are going through a lot of changes, like, for example, Kitty Pryde turning into a ghost, and here she is kind of hiding and protecting this child, New Mutant, that is also introduced in the first issue, and kind of hiding away from Fabian Cortez, who is part of the group of Revelation. That so it is a very cool. It feels like a very cool, very I want to say classic cover for an X-Men, because these are the stories where X-Men being persecuted, but also a lot of other things happening with their powers and their identities. So that is all, I think, fitting into the story, but also into this cover per se. Um, I and yeah, I Oh, I forgot to mention. So this is Jeff McKay and Neto Diaz, who does the cover. It's also the illustrator for this amazing Brazilian artist. Very cool. Looking forward to reading number one when it comes out, and then continuing on.
As for our news for this week, Seven Seas had released a license announcement, several, but these are the two that we're just choosing to highlight right now. So we have the Chinese novel series Hidden Love. Obviously, both of these, we don't have official covers yet for the English edition that we're coming out with, but this Chinese novel was the inspiration of a live action drama that's actually streaming on Netflix. So you should check it out if you have not watched it. But then we have this character named Sang-chi, who at 13 years old, she fell in love with an older boy named Jiashu. Sorry, I'm trying my best with the pronunciation. And he is like the typical careless, easygoing, comes after every afternoon to play video games with her brother. And she says nothing, keeps her feelings secret, but can't help but blush anytime they cross paths. And Hangxi is with content with that, just watching him from the background. Never thought that it could turn into something more. But years later, both of them, Shang-Chi and Jiashu, are reunited. So can this high school crush become a true romance? And then next up we have Luna Night, Volume 1. So this is about a young woman with little memory about her past, and she's thrusted into this world of fighting, guns, and killing after mobsters burned down her sister's flower shop. So she doesn't know why she's capable with a gun, because of her memories, of the loss of her memories. But what she does know is that she's not going to forgive this man who started the fire. And so she's on this path of revenge. And can she hold her on her own against the dangerous men of the city? And why does she have these killer instincts and skills? She's quite unsure of how she's able to do the things that she can. So it's like this action-packed series about like this sleeper agent and her quest for revenge and for answers. So I don't know if I I should have clarified in the beginning. I don't remember if I did. Hidden Love is a novel, and Luna Night is a manga series that they announced from Seven Seas. So both of them sound really interesting to me. I can't
Yeah,
wait till
very,
it comes
very
out.
cool. I love
Hmm.
the Luna Night. It's almost like a Born Identity, but with the little girl. So very
Hmm.
cool.
All right, and that is it for this week. Thank you all for joining us. As always, comment down below. Tell us what you'll be picking up for the upcoming FOC. And yeah, we enjoy doing these every week. So thank you for joining, and come back more for next week. Bye, everyone.